What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at some of the market trends that are going up at the moment. We're going to look through some more of the modern sets and look at the kind of more higher price, and then towards the end of the week we'll do a same one like this but on the lower price cards. So we're going to have a look at cards, have a look at products, and just in general where the market's kind of at the moment. We're going to see a lot of things that are pretty much just same as normal. There is definitely a lot of products at the moment that are just very stagnate. There's not really too much going on until we get into, obviously, the prismatic evolutions. That's kind of the big hype word at the moment. We are going to look at surging sparks as well, so let's jump straight into it. So first one's first, we've obviously got to look at 151. This is the bread and butter of Pokemon at the moment. Obviously, it's very nostalgic across the board with a lot of people, so it's very easy to kind of get right. Now, obviously, I'm not going to look at full-on cases with this because I kind of want to be realistic. It's not as if everybody's going to be buying $5.5 grand worth of booster bundles. But when we're looking at a single kind of one, obviously you've got the ETBs as well. But like we look at, for instance, the Pokemon Center one, that's going to be quite a big one as well. We'll have a look at some of the promos in there because they are going crazy again. So kind of looking towards, like, say, like a month sort of view, we can kind of see where it's going at this point. We can see a massive hype across the set in general. Like the Venusaur, the Charizard, the Blastoise, then mixing in with the products themselves. There's just been this upwards trend over the past couple of months. Doesn't matter where you're at the moment. I think in terms of buying 151, I don't think there's really a bad point unless like 5 to 10 years on from now. Like within the next year or two, trying to get as much stock as possible. This set is just always on the absolute up. We look at a case of Alakazam. Again, it's took like that big step up. May not be loads in terms of that, but you think maybe kind of like what, 5 years from now where that could be at. We've obviously got the Ultra Premium Collection box as well, doing its own little thing, to be honest. As you can see, it is pretty much going up from the 110 all the way up to 220. 210 give or take. Obviously you can have a look here. We got 215, 210, 215, 215, a couple of 214s in there. You can see it's pretty much stayed at that sort of level. What on earth is this? The box, I'm assuming? Okay, I can't click on it. I want to know why it's $35, but I mean, I'm assuming that's just probably the case or some of the promo cards in themselves. But incredible product again. One of the better ones that you can get for an ultra premium collection. One that is absolutely massive. I think, is it this one? The display tin that everybody's getting. I want to say it might look a little bit different to this actually. But in terms of this, you can see that it definitely had like a solid reprint out, but that again is going to be going straight up. I've seen so many TikToks of people buying crates of it. It's just absolutely nuts in itself. If we look, I want to see what's a normal booster bundle going for nowadays. Because you've got the Ultra Premium Collection. Obviously the Charizard we'll have a look at in a second. Where is that booster bundle? I want to see what the price is of a singular one. You've obviously got the single poster collection, Zapdos. To be honest, they're pretty much in good time, to be honest. There's not necessarily a massive difference right now, but if you manage to get it down here, you've made yourselves at least $20 in terms of a hold that wasn't really that long, to be honest. You've got your individual tins. I would have said the booster bundle would have been way more near the top. There's no way that the booster bundle's here. It's very weird, unless there's like a random box one, like obviously you've got like the packs and stuff. Maybe there's a box one that comes out for some reason. Even though I can't find it in this next one, we'll have a look and we'll type it up in a second. But in terms of the cards itself, they have gone really well across the board, as we could imagine, to be honest. Personally, the best one I've got from this set is going to be Venusaur. He's took a massive uptrend in terms of the app that I've seen. Like, look at the big difference there. Now, obviously, he is kind of fetching out a little bit more. We see 79, 59, 59, 59, 75. You've got obviously a lot of near mint, light played as well. So you've got quite a few going in there. It seems to be that he's around 55 to 60. There's kind of a sprinkles of 75, but I suppose it depends on the condition of the card more so than anything. So he will more than likely stay around this sort of price. I don't see him really tailing off massively, even with the reprints. I think he will hold his value. Charizard, on the other hand, that's just an absolute heat. It's the chase card, of course, as we could imagine. Brilliant, brilliant card. It's gone from the 123 pretty much in September as well, all the way up to 201, kind of equaling out of the 188, which is fair enough. We got 200, 184, obviously got near mint was the light played, 145 for a light play twice, 177 just today. No, that's, oh, they're doing the backwards date, so the 10th for the 11th. So you've got quite a few ranging, to be honest, depending on obviously your near mint. He's around the 190 if you can get a good deal on him. Again, I still think it's probably a pretty decent deal with him. I can't see him going down that much. Even with the reprint, he's got such demand on him. It seems to be that there's just no going away from him, to be honest. There's the booster bundle. Why couldn't I see that before? So that, yeah, look at the price difference. That is absolutely crazy. To say this product was like, what, £25, so about, what, $35 on release, and now that massive shoot up to 62 is just crazy. The minute, I haven't got no English 151 invested, but I have got some Japanese, so always interesting to see across the board there. We'll have a look at, we'll go for a bit of Crown Zenith, or Crown Zenith, however you want to pronounce it now. We've obviously got the Elite Trainer box from the Poke Center. This one, to be honest, is more of a kind of heater coming soon. Like, obviously, it's kind of up and down across the board at the moment, but I just think in an excess period of time, Crown Zenith is going to be a massive, massive set to get. The pull rates, some of the products, like, I really want this product personally, just to keep, to be honest. It's an absolute sensational one. I love the Zamazenta there, or is it Zacian, sorry? Zacian, sorry. But it's just gonna be beautiful. Like, it's already on that trend up. It may not be loads, like obviously when you look at it, it's only up $10, but this is going to be something massive in the future. Like, it's just guaranteed to be. The amount of hits that you can get from it, and I think getting both is definitely a play. We've obviously got the ETB. That's going up a little bit, isn't it? Look at that. So it's on the trend up. We're coming from the 35 to 40 range all the way to 61. We're looking at 62 across the board. You got a 50 unopened. I don't know why this is considerably lower, unless it's on bid or something. But again, it's going to be a great product. I think Crown Zenith, just purely on the amount of hits that you can get, I think is an absolute shoe-in for it, to be honest. And obviously, the main hits are going to be in these. The Gold Star Giratina is going to be the number one. Absolutely love that Mewtwo as well. The Mewtwo is just a beautiful art. It's a shame that they didn't have the other perspective straight on that set. But we've got the, what do we even click on here? We've got the Giratina, as I just clicked. 110, wow. 99, 99, 105, 99, 73, but I'm assuming, I'd love to see the picture. Why could I never click on the picture from here? Again, I'd say it's probably about right, to be fair. We did hit the absolute all-time high, and it's kind of just plateauing off a little bit, but like I said, this is not necessarily a for now sort of set. This is, in the future, this is just going to be a beautiful one. I love this design. Like, if I could see the other angle, the Charizard V-Star from this would be just beautiful. So it is, I think in general, this one does well, purely on the design purpose more so than anything. I like the Gold Giratina, the Arceus, obviously all of them together, a great set, but the design on this and some of the others, like Glaceon, stunning artwork, Leafeon's decent, would have probably swapped them in my opinion. Love the Raikou. Entei, I like the cartoon characteristics of it. It could have been a really cool, almost, what is it? It's not like, it's like a real design. Like, you look in like a real picture. Can't remember what the actual terminology for that is, but that's a cracking card, to say the least. And there is still a few bangers in there that are coming in at the low price that we'll have a look at kind of in a different set. But Crown Zenith, absolute win. We then also have Paldean Fates. I think this is always a good set. I love, but I don't know if it's just me, I love the fact that you can get the whole shiny deck in this. I think it takes commitment. It's a big process to go with. And it's not even necessarily that all of the cards are worth that much. Like, really, Pikachu out of the shiny side is the most expensive, but realistically, it's the fact that you've got like 4 pages of shinies is the hardest part. Obviously, Bubble Mew as well is going to be the chase card for this. That one for me is just going, isn't it? Like, look at the price increase from 82 back here, or 75 even, on, is that the lowest? 75, pretty much all the way up to 176. Just stunning. 180, 78, 79. Got a lightly played for just 100. Seems to be across the board. Like, you've got a few near mints. Yeah, I personally think that it's definitely a chase card, to say the least. Everybody wants that card, and it's very difficult to get. Guadivore, you never pronounce it right, but it's, again, the second one. In terms of, obviously, what you get in product, obviously you got Charizard as well. Didn't even see it there. It's not my favorite, to be honest. Again, it's a great design. Like, I get it. The artwork is stunning for what they're trying to capture. It's not my favorite Charizard, to be honest. I think I am pretty much more the basic side of Charizard. He has kind of come down quite a considerable amount as well, but this was pretty much the heat of the card, so whether he actually sold for all of that would be the kind of next question. The minute is coming in at about 140, give or take, so it's fair enough. Obviously, with the ETBs, they are a little bit up in price, to be fair, at $60. I always take the consideration that most of the Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violets were pretty much around the 30 to 40 pounds, so anywhere between like $35 to $45 is kind of where you'd normally get a lot of these sets on launch, like, quite easily. Now we're seeing him kind of dropping down, to be honest, from 66, but we can get him about 54. 55 seems to be the price, so it's not up like a crazy amount, but maybe having a few in the collection could be worth having a look at a minimum. It's definitely not the worst set in the world, and I think it's quite easy to always have a look at the likes of something like Shining Fates, because you can kind of see where they're going. Now, obviously, depending on what cards you've got in there, it's going to be the big one. So obviously with the Shining Fates, it's predominantly like the Charizard coming in at the 87, and then you've kind of got just pretty much the shiny deck itself. So it's not as if you've got like a great selection going on here. I wonder if you've got best matching, or even if you go best selling. Surely that would be, yeah, I was going to say that would kind of give us a lot of the kind of cards. You can see really there's not really a Pikachu, a Charmander that's really holding it up. It predominantly is the Charizard VMAX, and even then, it's still not as expensive as the Bubble Mew. So I'd kind of expect this set to not necessarily be as crazy as maybe Paldean Fates could be. And obviously, it does show Shining Fates 51. Obviously, you got 67 for this. A lot of products for it as well. That's the one thing that's going to be interesting. You've got 53, unopened 38. Again, I want to know why. 53s across the board. So we're even seeing Paldean Fates a little bit more expensive at this point now already. So that's absolutely crazy. But you have got quite a considerable amount on the actual pack itself. That's going to be the big thing in it. What you actually want to look at. Then if we have a look, you got the Premium Collection set. What have we got? Is that both sets? You've got that coming in. I think it's just down to the set, in my opinion, for this one. Then everybody's favourites, we've obviously got Evolving Skies. This is always an interesting one to have a look at. Massive, massive price. Like, we're looking at the Evolving Skies deck. We're looking at we're looking at about 865. I was going to say $1.5 grand. I don't think it's quite that much, to be honest. Let's have a look at the data, though. So we're looking at 875, 864, 880. I'm assuming there's a reason why it's so much cheaper. Same here. Why is it 600? I don't know. I'm assuming there's something wrong with them, but realistically, you can kind of see the 875 seems to be the price. 950. Wow. Yeah, the price on this is just criminally crazy. Like, you can't stop going up. I am very interested to see where this does bottom out, to be honest, because it seems to be every kind of like couple of months, it just takes a new wave up. It's absolutely nuts. I'm so gutted to have sold the Moonbreon by now, because looking at the pricing on him like that, there's just no way someone's buying him for that much. That is crazy. Near mint 1.2. That's near mint 1.5 as well. Whether all these bids go through or not, I gotta just go off the data. By But from what I've seen with a lot of this, it normally is pretty on the nose. But it's crazy that you can see like the 1.5, but then only 1.2 here. It is interesting to see the difference in prices there. Obviously, you've got the moderately played as well coming in a lot cheaper. But this card is just, it's a joke. Prismatic Evolutions is going to be absolutely nuts for it as well. You just know that it's going to come with the Umbreon of all Umbreons. You've obviously got the Rayquaza as well, another absolute heater in here. Started to come down a little bit as well. I did notice that. It's kind of making that little arch, starting to maybe plateau back up a little bit. I reckon it probably sits around here, to be honest. You got 700 for the near mint. Obviously, 145, I'm assuming that is not near mint. 448, 539. Yeah, it's coming in at a pretty hefty price. Seems to be going up again even more so. You've got the actual pack coming in now at $16.50 on market price. Jeez. It's just a very expensive set to open now. So if anything, I would just be looking to go out and buying the cards more so than trying to get it. I think the boxes, are always worth an investment. I wouldn't necessarily go in on it if you're not a really high level investor at this sort of thing, because I could say, yes, he's not going to bottom out at all anytime soon, but it definitely could. I wouldn't be able to tell you the full trends on this to know if he's going to go up that much more. I think in like 10, 15 years, it's still going to be a sought after. Like these cards are iconic in the Sword and Shield era, so they are not going to go anywhere anytime soon, but it's a very high margin to get in on, to be honest. I just think trying to get one of these is very, very difficult for a casual collector. And if you do, fair plays. I think if you hold it for as long as possible, it's bound to go up at some point. Like there's no way that it loses any sort of value. We then also have the Lost Origin. I remember literally back about a month, it's probably about a few months now, where we basically sold out of Lost Origin and people just lost their minds for it. Genuinely, like we have, it could have been April, to be honest. It could have been around here. And then obviously we've got a little bit of a restock. No reprinted, I don't think, for the set itself, but did have a few more stocks come out. But it has technically reached that little bit higher than before, to be honest. Again, another booster box that's done very, very well from opening on the gate. I mean, again, you could have probably got this for around about the 130 mark. I think in pounds, I think it was around about 105 on release. That was just a very rough estimate from what I've seen. So again, it's kind of doubled your money as such there already. Very good set in itself, and obviously Giratina is very thanks to that, to be honest. You're looking at it, it's a great card. Like everybody loves that card. It's coming in again. It's got a big price demand here. I think this was around the time where the kind of extra cards were being sold out, so maybe a little bit of price panic, and then once we found that we got a little bit more stock, started to come down, but he definitely will go back up again. There's no way that card doesn't. You've got the kind of the next one's Aerodactyl. The Charizard UPC though, always nice. I think it's a cracking one, just like the Mew. It's always going to be like it's always going to be a great one. It's Charizard. Obviously, it's got the big set of Lost Origin in it. It was always going to be an absolute heater, to be honest. Then if we have a look at a few, Silver Tempests have kind of gone off a little bit now, to be fair. Again, the box gone up a little bit, but nothing too crazy, like 40 for the ETB. I don't think that set's really worth mentioning. I did want to have a look at X and Y. Now, I am going to do a specific dedicated video to a lot of the vintage sets. I know this is not technically classed as vintage, but when we're looking at the older sets, I'm going to do a bit more research into it and kind of bring some numbers to the table with how things are going, where you could actually buy something like this. Like for instance, if you wanted to buy an X and Y Evolutions booster box, where do you go? Because it's not as if it's on a general sale. You won't really find them too heavily in stores. You're pretty much going to have to go to a specific seller of this. And that's something I don't personally know. I've never bought one before, especially for the price that we're looking at. Again, it's very much like Evolutions. It's absolutely huge in price. We're looking at 900. Yeah, it's pretty much bang on the money, the same as Evolutions, to be fair to it. So it's got a huge price range for it. Now, when we look at the cards themselves, to be fair, there isn't necessarily a massive kind of card, really. Like, you got Charizard at 48, but it's not really the biggest, I don't think. I'm pretty sure there is a bigger card in here, but I want to say it's not. It is the Charizard. So, again, it might just be more so the set, if anything. There's got to be something else that's amiss here. It doesn't. I don't think you get a set for like $1,000, and there's not really a big heater in this set. Could be something I'm missing. Let me know down below. Evolutions is definitely something that escaped me just that bit before I started collecting again. The one thing that I did want to have a look at is obviously the promo cards, and just showing you the kind of the level of sales from promo cards, but also Pokemon Center ETBs. The promo cards go crazy. We've obviously got the lovely Van Gogh Pikachu still coming in with some heat at 168. We got 155, 170, 200. And looking at 185, 155. So again, very up and down with this, to be honest. But when you look at the likes of kind of like the Snorlax ETB, this was the Pokemon Center for 151. Just absolute money. Like that, it's just crazy how much. You got 101. If you kind of put that into perspective of what a Pokemon 151 ETB does, I will show you in a second, but we've got the same across the board, like 85 for a Squirtle, 80 for the Charmander from Obsidian Flames. You've then got 59 for obviously the Pikachu Pokemon Center. Want to say that was the base Scarlet and Violet, I want to say. Pre-release cards, you've got then the... What one is it? You've got this one. I can't remember what it is. If I can get it. I can't remember what set this ETB was, in fact. It was... Was this the base? So which one was the Pokemon? I don't actually even know. I think this was the base version because we had both of them. Do they have them on there? Yeah, so this was base. So actually the Miraidon and Koraidon. Koraidon? Yeah, Miraidon and Miraidon and Koraidon. They are from the original base, whereas obviously like the Snorlax was from one of these, but the Pokemon Center one, rather than necessarily just your normal ETBs. So you normally get the normal Snorlax that will come in a good price, but it's definitely going to be a lot lower than what these cards are. And if was to put that into perspective, the 151 Pokemon ETB Center. There's a box case. Where we're looking at. We're looking here, and then we go back one into Scarlet and Violet. There we go. So you're looking at this one. So is this the individual? So yeah, you're looking at the individual. You get the 9 packs. So if you think you can get the Snorlax for, what was it, about 110, 120, then you've got 200. So really, you're paying $100 for the 9 packs, or 11 packs, sorry, from 151. And then the promo card would sell for itself, and that's everything else really. Then you've got the sleeves and all that. So really you need to be making them $100 from them 11 packs, and then that's that kind of paid for. So you know you've got the Snorlax in there, so it is a very, very good product to have. And then finally we've got the Surge and Sparks. Now obviously for this it is a interesting set. I do think it's definitely dropped down, seeing as though it kind of released. We're starting to see like a big up here again, but I think it kind of had more hype from it. These numbers seem a little bit low from what I was seeing. It's just got a massive surge of cards. Like I have not seen so many TikToks open so much Surge and Sparks every single day. We have got the Elite Trainer Box case coming in, but we've got the Pokemon Center already coming in at $200. Again, that's going to come in with the Magnemite, which again we'll have a look at in a second. But that's again another big one that you can have a look at. You've obviously got then the Pikachu itself. He's got to come down. $450. As hard as he is to get, I just don't see him being that high up there. Obviously, a lot of people are buying him, so it's not saying that he doesn't sell by any shadow of imagination, but a lot of people are trying to get that PSA 10, especially when we saw, was it the, I want to say it was a fake bid of like, I want to say it was like 250 grand or something like that. It was like, it got up to about 25 grand, and then people kind of cottoned on that it's like, okay, this isn't real. But I think it did sell for around like 2.5, 3 grand, even at that sort of price for a PSA 10. That's still a pretty crazy price to be selling at. So it is definitely the set's winner right here. Then we've obviously got the Latias coming in quite expensive. You've got the gold hyper rare Pikachu. You've got Hydrogen there. Obviously the Alolan Executor. I think that is a stunner of a card. The colours just absolutely work. But then we said with the Pokemon ETBs, you've obviously got, if you go into the cards, we've got the, if we can go into, I think it's free, we go into the promo cards. I wonder if they'll have it up yet. It should do. That's Sword and Shield, so we need to be one more up. because you can see them here. So we should have the Magnemite if we go for what is it? No, it'd be best. Would it be best selling at the minute? I don't think it would be yet. I think it's still early on to be best selling, but it is the Magnemite promo card. I wonder if I can go. What is that? So if I go it's Magneton, isn't it? Actually, that is not how you spell it. Right, Magneton, and then we go Surging Sparks. It should give me both of it. It's not going to give me both of them. There must not be on yet then or something, because you'd get one from both of these, the normal ETB and then obviously the Pokemon Center. It will be interesting to see where that does come in at, with the box already being at that 200 mark. So incredible. Let me know down below though if there's any other sets you'd like me to introduce. We'll kind of come back to a lot of these sets and see in a week's time where they're at, if they've gone up, if they've got down. But we're mainly looking at the high rated products, the high price products in this. And then in the video in a few days, we'll look more at the lower prices, at kind of like the booster boxes that are like £80 to £90 coming in lower. And a lot of them being the Scarlet and Violet, kind of Obsidian Flames, Temporal Forces, and see where they're coming in at and see if there's actually a buy in them. Let me know what you think though, and I'll catch you for the next one. Peace.